a 3-game winning streak for the Bulls alongside the head coach, George Kiefer. Mike Lefko with you here on the George Kiefer Show. And Coach, first of all, I want to congratulate you on this past weekend. The win over Cincinnati gave you your 150th career win. Is that really sunk in? What does that mean to get 150 here?
You know, it's nice to be able to get 150 wins, and it just, it shows you that you're at a place that wants to win in men's soccer. And a lot of people have to make that decision before any coach can execute that plan. But I also, would love to talk about, my assistants that have been with me for a lot of those wins. I think the continuity really helps.
Well, we'll talk about Cincinnati in a second, but first let's talk about Temple, the match that started off this nice little conference winning streak. That was an interesting one. I know the conditions weren't ideal. You had to move locations. Yeah. Despite all of that, what did you take away from that performance?
I thought Temple was a really good team, and they have a bunch of wins under their belt already. Moving the game to sports grass, I didn't think that played too much of a factor for either team. What I like about Temple is developing a style where they play really good soccer, and it's always a fun game with them. And I thought the guys did a really good job of collecting a win on the road.
Nazim Bartman got the goal in that game, and then again in Tulsa he scored a goal. Was named the Offensive Player of the Week this past week. I know he has been such a huge addition for you, and you talked about you expected a lot out of him. What does he do so well, though, to make you have that confidence in him?
Well, he has really good pedigree. You look at him prior to coming here, and he's been successful everywhere he's been. And I'll say it again. I think he's one of the better forwards in the country. And I think if you watch him, he's very good around goal. He's very good at spinning you and going after you and making defenders work. But more importantly, he works his tail off defensively and really fights for the group.
That Tulsa match, too, to get a win like that on the road in the middle of what was a very tough stretch, the end of a long 3-game road trip, in the middle of a 3-match week. How critical was it for you guys to go there and then escape with that win?
We knew that would be a stressful time, in that we were in Colorado, then we went to Oklahoma, and then we were in Philly, all within 7 days. To do what we did in that span was nice. And then to make sure the guys were focused. Sometimes you go on the road and you think, okay, we're back at home, we'll win. Well, no, you got to show up. And I thought they did a great job of showing up on Saturday against Cincinnati.
The team finally back at home. They get the 3-0 win. Because of that, or maybe because of this past week, Brendan Hines-Ike as well was named Defensive Player of the Week. So not to just single him out, but what does he help do to lead this defense to this great goal differential?
Hines is a really good person to deal with. I could sit down and watch whole games with him and look at clips and that. He just wants to always get better. And he's very good at owning up to the things he can do a better job with, which is why I think he has become a really good captain here. But if you look at the defense, especially the back of the team, and when we pull it back, when we press, him, Lindo, and Nazim are all on the same page when to do those things. And Hines is a very good communicator.
You guys have won a lot of low-scoring games, but that Cincinnati match, 3-0, was it nice to see the offense kind of break out there as well?
It was nice, and soccer is a game where you want to win the 1-0 games. I'm never one to say, oh, we kept it close, they only beat us 1-0. That's the game. You want to win the 1-0 games, and but to get the 2 or 3, I feel like this team is capable of doing that every time it goes out. Sometimes the ball hits the post, sometimes gets deflected off the line, but they're always creating enough chances to get multiple goals.
Well, the team is back on the road. Coming up, we'll preview Memphis and look ahead to some more home games. That's next on The George Kiefer Show.
What am I doing in this royal carriage? I summoned it with YP, the best local app ever, with Uber built right in. Conroy, take me to the haberdashery.
That's not my name, sir.
Sir. How do I get away with this? I bought tickets directly from the YP app, and with Fandango built right in, I go right to my primo seats with this obscene bucket of corn. Hot. Download the YP app. Do it now.
Well, after that busy stretch of matches and a lot of road matches, soccer is back on the road once again, but luckily, Coach, you guys have had a nice little break between Cincinnati and before you go play Memphis. What has this past week been worked on?
You know, this was a strategic break. We put it in, you know, we're at about the 9th week, and, you know, if you look at when is a good time to give a team a break, it's right around that 8th or 9th week. So we actually gave them off a few days, no soccer, no anything, and then got back at it on Wednesday. And you know, at this point, we're not interested in putting new things into our schemes, but we're interested in just really getting better at what we think we're good at. I think the guys have been really focused in training. I think the rest has paid off. You know, I really feel like the team will be flying on Friday night.
Physically, I know it can probably drain a team to play so many matches in such a short time, but with this break that you gave them, was that to mentally recharge them as well? I know sometimes there's so much going on, they just need to step away for a little bit.
Yeah, and it's, you know, maybe when I first started coaching, I didn't understand that, but the players do need to get away a little bit, and, you know, it was no soccer, nothing, just academics and, you know, what they need to do on campus and socially and that. But then when you get back at it, you know, they're itching to get back at it. And like I said, I feel like, you know, it'll be one of our better performances on Friday.
It's at Memphis on Friday, and while their win-loss record might not reflect their team, Memphis does have a win against Connecticut. They have played some tough matches, so what do you guys have to do to go on the road and play a good match against them?
We've watched Memphis very close. I think, you know, their coach Richie's played in the MLS. He's a very good coach, and to be fair, the last 2 years they've beaten us. I think it's a game that you have to bring your A game. You have to really show up and compete. And if you don't do that, they are definitely good enough to beat you.
Well, we won't talk about what's coming up after that, but the team, you can catch them back here for a couple of home matches after that Memphis match. Wednesday, October 21st against UCF, and then Saturday, October 24th against SMU. Not to really ask you about the matchups, but I'm sure it'll be nice to be back here for a couple at home. Huh?
You know, once we get through Friday, then get on that plane and get back. That's it.
Well, thanks, Coach. I appreciate the time. Thanks for watching this edition of The George Kiefer Show.